Hey everybody, welcome back to Chamberlain Family Farms. So it's a rainy day today, so we figured we'd take this opportunity to go ahead and get the greenhouse cleaned out. As you can see, we got it all clean, and then we went ahead and we put another weed fabric down, because the one we had on here we actually had in the garden the previous year, a couple years ago, so it had a bunch of holes in it and weeds and stuff is growing up. So we put this down over top of it. Also, we did a remodel in the house, in the bathroom, and this is the old style tub, metal, and we decided to go ahead and bring this out here. Now this year is going to be the first year we try to grow stuff year round. It's not going to be a whole lot this year. Mom's got stuff in her greenhouse growing, and we decided we're going to too. So I think what we're going to put in this bathtub is we're going to put some potatoes. We got a bunch of them that's already got the eyes starting to come out and everything. So we just got to wait for it to dry up so we can get the dirt. Now through the winter time, we're not going to grow any tomatoes or peppers or anything that's like needs really warm weather. We're just going to grow cool weather crops. That's like your potatoes, that's your lettuce, that's your kale, that's your spinach, stuff like that. Maybe even carrots. So we'll see how she does. So I got a load of dirt. Now a lot of this, it came from around the cellar up there. We had some dirt where it's kind of running downhill. I just scooped it up. We got to get more dirt down there anyway, so I figure why go dig a hole whenever I could just get it easy. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the dirt from here and stick it right there in that tub. So this model does have a door on the other side. If you guys remember last year when we actually put this thing up, we put a log probably about that big around that goes from one end to the other, so we can't open up the door. Plus we also got the tub on the inside, so we can't bring it in this way. But that's where Jen wants it, so that's where it's going. So we're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way, I guess. I guess I should carry it like this. As you can see, I think this is going to be enough dirt for now. Potatoes, as they grow, you want to keep adding dirt. So we don't want to completely fill this up. Now I do got to level it off and everything. Grow with some good old taters in the winter. This is a 55-gallon barrel. The reason we're putting it actually in the greenhouse is kind of help regulate the temperature. So if you got a lot of water like this, that when the sun hits it, it's going to heat it up, right? And whenever it gets cold at nights, this is still going to be fairly warm, and it's going to keep it about the average temperature, or help keep the average temperature. Now we do have the heater and everything, but this will definitely help. The more of these you actually have in a greenhouse, the more stable your temperature will be.
Now we're going to go ahead and plant some potatoes inside the greenhouse in this bathtub that Philip already filled up with dirt. And I have some rabbit manure that I'm going to go ahead and put in there.
I'm going to be doing something a little different than what Jen's doing. Jen's going to be planting some seeds. And I've got some apricot seeds. Now I know I did a live video on it, but I did it in the house. It was fairly dark. You guys probably couldn't see very good. So I'm going to start working on this while she's busy planting over there. Alright, so for this, you're going to need your pair of cutters. What you're going to do, you'll let these dry out first. These are the pits in an apricot. Again, it'll work the same for a cherry, anything with a pit in it. Peach, apricot, cherry, whatever. And you'll just keep going around and around. What you don't want to do is you don't want to go right in the center of it and do it. You do not want to damage the seed that's inside. If you let it dry out, the seed should shrink a little bit, so make it a little safer to do.
With most of your herbs, you're just going to sprinkle them on top and then sprinkle a little dirt on top of that. because they don't need to be deep. This is the parsley. I've had really good luck with parsley in the past, but if you don't keep it moist, and if it gets too hot, it seems to dry up and it will get burnt. But I love cooking with parsley. It gives everything just such a good flavor.
Yeah, I like it in my chili.
We're planning on getting some planter boxes and things out here that'll be a little bit bigger that we can plant some carrots in, some onions, turnips. And I'm doing a couple different kinds of lettuces. This one is a miniature romaine lettuce. And then we'll do an iceberg lettuce also.
Oh, which we did have a comment on the blackberries, because there's been several people, their blackberries, even the wild ones, they're kind of bitter this year in certain parts of the U.S. Well, something a lot of people don't know, if there is a short of rain and a bunch of heat, that will make not just blackberries, but most of your plants taste bitter. But keep that in mind. If they ain't getting enough water, and if it's too hot, them two will make your vegetables and plants and everything taste better.
All right, we'll cover that up. And Philip especially eats a lot of salads. So we are doing some spinach also. Spinach leaves is one of my favorites.
Yeah, the stuff we're growing this winter, guys, this stuff won't be for sale. This will just be for our own family, just to kind of help cut costs and see how things do too. Because I mean, if this really does well, who knows, we might go ahead and get another greenhouse or two and try to do this where we could actually sell. So I had somebody comment on I think it was on X, the old Twitter. They want to know about this greenhouse. This greenhouse, if you guys go back to previous video, we had two. The first and the second one we got off Amazon. The first one was cheaper. It did fairly good. It lasted for almost a year until them, man, I don't know, it was like 80 mile-an-hour winds and stuff like that came through here. It just didn't stand a chance. We did have some 60 mile-an-hour winds on this one, and it held up a lot better. I think I paid a little over $300 for this one. Now this one, it's got doors on the side that opens up like a regular door. The one I had before, it just had some flaps that you would roll up and let down. But it's still roughly the same size and looks roughly the same. So it just depends on your guys' preference. But like I said, we got this from Amazon, fairly cheap.
Another good thing about this drum is it's going to give us a good water source in here. Instead of having to traipse to the spigot and fill up our water, I can just dip it into the thing and then we can just fill it up at one time with the water hose.
So you gotta remember to fill it up. So the main purpose of this, yeah, we got heat, but man, the past few years the electric, it's shut off several times even through the winter time. So like I said, what that'll do is that'll heat up, that water will, and if electric goes off, it's going to take a long time for a 55-gallon drum of water to freeze. So it will most definitely help keep the heat in here until the power comes on. And even if you don't have electric, I would suggest you get some of these anyway if you're doing any kind of planting whatsoever, because it really will help. I mean, it's probably about 40 degrees outside, but I tell you what, it feels like it's 120 in here right now just with a little bit of sun. So apricots, like most of your fruit and stuff, it'll take about 3 years before it'll actually produce fruit if we get a tree out of it. But in 3 years we'll have some trees growing fruit. So And these pits, they did come from the local grocery store. I know a lot of people saying you can't do that. It won't grow. It will. But you won't know exactly what kind. It probably won't taste exactly the same as the fruit it came in, but it should still be good. It should still be edible, guys. So
If you're gonna spend money at the grocery store to buy some of this stuff, you might as well get more for it.
So there's really no initial cost. I mean, yeah, you got to buy them, but like I said, we eat them anyway. So you might as well go ahead and try to grow some. And look, we don't even have to wait 3 years if we want. If we can actually get some trees to grow, we can sell these things. If you guys have not looked on Amazon and some of these stores that are selling these things, I'll tell you what, over $100 for a small little tree that's still got 2 years to grow. You could always put on there a random whatever, whether it be a cherry tree, because you don't know what, like I said, what it's going to grow. You don't know what it was cross-pollinated with. So it's not going to be the same exact, but you could put random apricot, random peach, random whatever, and people will buy them. And I tell you what, some of them cross-pollinated ones with something different, sometimes they got a better flavor than either one they was crossed with. So all right guys, so what we're going to use, I always go the cheapest way. That's what this channel is, guys. This is how to homestead farm without breaking the bank. I mean, that's our channel in a nutshell. We will buy some stuff from time to time and try some things like that out, but for the most part, it's using what you got, mostly used material and stuff like that. So we're using red Solo cups, very cheap. Get them at the store. Most people have them in their cupboard anyway for whenever they don't feel like doing dishes that night. So I use a drill. You guys can use a knife if you want. I use a drill with a small bit. You don't want it too small. You want to make sure water can come out. You don't want it too big to where the dirt comes out. So I'll get about 4 or 5 of them together. Make about 4 or 5 holes in the bottom of it. You got a knife, you can do them individually. Just put some slits in them. All right. Get you some topsoil. Now you don't have to use store-bought stuff. You guys can go out in the woods. Just move some leaves out of the way and kind of dig just the top layer or so. You guys don't have to buy it. You get you 1 or 2, which we're going to put 2 in each. And you'll put it, you're just going to lay them flat. I don't know which end it's going to sprout out of, but I'll just put them flat, push them down there about 1 inch, cover it over, put one on the other side. Just kind of push it down there a little bit and cover it over. Next, you'll just put some water on them. Make sure you guys mark them. Now, if you guys are marking them to sell, you don't have to put what it is that you bought at the store, okay? Just put like apricot, okay? In case you guys do pears or apples or whatever, that way you guys know what tree it is. Especially if you're just starting out, because you won't be able to tell probably what the leaves are on them. So just go ahead and put what they are, what type they are. You can document that it was it came from a Gala apple or something like that, a certain breed, but you ultimately do not know what it was crossed with, because like my aunt Cindy, she's got an orchard down south, and she'll have like a Golden Delicious and Galas and so on and so forth, and then it'll just repeat over and over, and then they'll have another row over and over. So you have no idea which tree mated with that tree that it came from. So you could, from one tree, from one package of apples from the same tree, you could have a multiple variety of apples grown completely different. So if you're going to sell these, I'd put like random whatever, random apricot, random pear, because you don't know if they're going to be small, big, red, yellow, whatever. So just so you know. All right guys, I hope you guys enjoy this. Again, I hope this really inspires some of you. Times are getting hard for everybody. It's better to be able to do things on your own, and that's what this channel represents. It's the average person who don't have a bunch of money in the bank, but shows you how you can thrive on junk laying around your property or cheap ways of doing things. The old ways is not always bad, guys. I mean, you can take stuff from the old ways and the stuff with the new ways and just use your imagination. You guys can come up with some crazy stuff that works way better than what they're selling at the stores and everything. So again, I hope this inspires you all, and we'll see you all later. Thank you for watching Chamberlain Family Farms. You can contact us at chamberlainff@gmail.com. You can also see us on Facebook, Chamberlain Family Farms. We hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe.